1971 to 1974. Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Trawler.
Game 539, Mets at Cardinals. Welcome back, baseball fans. 1971-74 Carryover League. We are continuing into the race to the pennant postseason tournament, into the second round, 5-game round of 5 games. We're trying to get a third place team and a second place team to battle for eliminating purposes in the National League. Let's take a look at what has to happen in this series with the Mets and the Cardinals. Big names here, of course. Let's go to this first. Padres, Arizona have played already. Arizona's been knocked out. Padres are 2 games under 500. Will that be enough to last to the third round of this tournament? Probably not. Mathematically, they would need, they would need the Mets get knocked out, they would need the Colorado get knocked out, and they would need the Pirates to be swept 3 straight by the Phillies to join the Arizona as the 4 teams to be knocked out. That's the only math that works for the Padres. But we are playing Mets-Cardinals today. Boy, what a tale of 2 teams. The Mets were the best team in baseball last year until the League Championship Series when they got swept by the Reds. Since that time, they're 7 under 500. 4-game sweep to the Reds, and this year 3 under 500. Cardinals have been fighting, scratching, and clawing. They're a game over 500. They played great baseball all year with the toughest schedule, I believe, in baseball, having to play the Reds and the Pirates, and they beat the Reds and the Pirates. Matter of fact, the Reds have been knocked out. But the math favors the Cardinals here. You have an underachieving Mets, overachieving Cardinals. Mets 3 back, Cardinals 1 up. That's 2 games back in the standings with 5 to play. Math suggests Mets need to win 4 out of 5. Simply winning a best of 5, 3 games to 2 will not be good enough. That would still put them a game back. So the Mets have to win 4-1. It's funny, this is last year's result, by the way, if you're wondering. The Mets in this particular bracket won their bracket 3 games to 2 and made them 18 and 17 at this point a year ago. That's kind of funny. They're sitting there again, very similar record. Anyway, let's take a peek at what has happened in Game 1 opening in St. Louis. Again, as soon as the Mets lose, we play elimination game. Tom Seaver versus Sonny Siebert. A guy that I've been disappointed with the Strat card in the case of Tom Seaver, and a guy in Sonny Siebert that I can't believe how fortunate I've been with this guy with Boston and now with St. Louis. And it kind of plays that way, folks. Again, top of the first inning, the Mets a single for Harrelson, hit and run, double by Gerardo, 2 on, nobody out. Well, they get a run on a ground ball, that's about it. Cardinals come right back, load the bases, single walk, single, and a sac fly by Ted Simmons. So it could have been a lot more fireworks. It's just 1-1. But bottom of the second inning, here again, Seaver, single, RBI single, then 8 strikeout, survives an error. So 2 runs off of 5 hits and a walk off of Seaver in the first 2 innings. The Mets tie it in the 6th. It's an RBI single after a ground ball by Bobby Darwin. It is 2-2, bottom of the 7th inning. After a strikeout, Lou Brock single, and then a ground ball to Lee Lacy, the Mets second baseman. They had Ted Martinez last year. Now they have Lee Lacy. Neither one was particularly good. An error by Lee Lacy. Fielder's choice, and then a 2-out single by Joe Torre. Who else? This guy led the league in RBI in 71 with 137 of them. So it's now a 3-2 game. In the 8th inning, Siebert is battling. Strikeout, single, strikeout, walk, 2 on 2 outs, and he strikes out Bobby Darwin. 3 strikeouts in the inning. Siebert's day is done. He'll leave the 3-2 lead. Siebert's day is done. He'll leave with a 3-2 lead. Tom Seaver's day continues through the 8th into the 9th. It's a 3-2 lead for your Cardinals. They bring in Al Raboski to get the save of the 9th. Pinch hitter Wayne Garrett strikes out. Lee Lacy grounds out. So with 2 outs, the pitch to Duffy Dyer. It's a solo homer by Duffy Dyer to tie this thing 3-3. Is this Miracle Mets? They've tied it 3-3 in the 9th. Bottom half, Tom Seaver, a starter 9. He goes right back out there. He strikes out Lou Brock. But Reggie Smith, again, the 2 players the Cardinals have added this year, Sonny Siebert and Reggie Smith. Reggie Smith solo shot off of Tom Seaver, and the Cardinals win yet another heartbreaking loss for the Mets. If they have a heart left to break, they have just been savagely just beaten on in the past season after brilliance. A World Series title by the Mets 2 years ago, best record in baseball last year until they faced those Reds I mentioned, and since then it's been Nightmare City. Cardinals do indeed win Game 1 4-3, meaning that they need just one more win, and they have 4 games to get it against the Mets, who have to win 4 straight or their season is over. Let's take an overall look at the standings. Here we are, folks, in this wonderful division. You know, the winning percentages are not gaudy because they face each other a lot of the times, or they face, gosh, the Cardinals have faced the Reds and the Mets, and my goodness. The Cubs are still sitting there, 3 over 500. Here are the Cardinals a half game back. The Pirates. Folks, if the Cardinals win this game, there's going to be a tie for first. Cubs win the tiebreaker. But then the Pirates could crash that party. Pirates will play the Phillies. If they beat the Phillies 3 out of 4, which is very reasonable, that would be a 3-way tie for first place in this division, and that would be the most incredible tiebreaker. I'd have to figure out who's in first place. It goes like this. Cardinals beat the Pirates. Pirates beat the Cubs. And the Cubs beat the Cards twice. It's ring around the rosy. If you play common opponent, the Pirates could only split with the Reds. The Cardinals beat the Reds 4-3, and the Cubs beat the Reds 4-2. I believe the Cubs would still have a 3-way tiebreaker and be in first place. But if it turns out that it is a 3-way tie for first, the Cubs would just sit and watch at the perch at first place. But if second place and third place teams in the tournament, who could be eliminated, the Cardinals and Pirates could be eliminated, but they could also sweep their opponents, they could knock the Cubs into a wild card or possibly even out, because the Cubs would be idle with just 3 games over 500. This is just going to be a fantastic finish in this National League. You know, you're looking at the Cubs with a huge high percentage of making the playoffs right now, and probably unlikely to be called for the division. Like I said, the Cardinals have to win this game, and the Pirates have to take 3 out of 4 from the Phillies to create that 3-way tie. And the Cubs don't have to worry about the Cardinals. They own the tiebreaker with the Cardinals. So, that's the drama that we have set up today in just a Game 2. And here are your Mets, by the way. Yeah, they got to win all 4 games to get the 500, at which point they could make it to the 3rd round of this tournament, but then probably have to sweep that round. So it looks like you got a fading Mets team against a Cardinal team that is just full of you-know-what and vinegar, folks. All these teams fight, scratch, and claw in this division, and the Mets look very soft. Let's go to Game 2 from Busch Stadium. Sold out after that jubilant win in Game 1. Everybody stayed up all night and camped out early for tickets for Game 2. They want to see the Cardinals beat up the once big bad Mets. They're not big bad anymore. Today's starting pitchers: John Matlack, arguably the best Met pitcher for the last 3 years for me. His 72 Rookie of the Year card, 15 wins, 2.32 ERA, 244 innings for Matlack. Cardinals, because they've been playing so many games, have to use number 4 starter Scipio Spinks today. They have Bob Gibson tomorrow, but they have Scipio Spinks today. 72. He was 5-5 with a 2.67 ERA and 118 innings. I believe Matlack and Spinks were probably both rookies. Spinks might have made top 10 Rookie of the Year, I'm guessing, but he had a fine year. with Matlack winning it. That's just a guess. I haven't looked that up. From Busch Stadium, Mets have retooled their lineup. They've put Darwin and Gerardo on the bench. And Wayne Garrett will lead off. 63 for Garrett. His pitcher X, Spinks is an E12. And he makes the play. Bud Harrelson, 39 is a walk for the ace stealer. But Simmons is a -2 arm. It'll be Willie Mays. 2-6 is a K. And you know what? Bud's going to try a steal. And he makes it on a 6. They got to try it. They got to just throw it all in if you're the Mets. Bud's at second base for John Milner, the cleanup hitter. 2-3, flies to right field. That didn't work. Bottom of 1, it'll be Lou Brock. 2-3, bounce to first. Jose Ortiz. 1-7 is a double to right field for Jose Ortiz. And now here's Reggie Smith. Fans are going nuts. He won game 1 with his walk-off. He's playing center field today. And you know what? It's really kind of fun here. Reggie can play center, first base, and right field, and he's played all those positions this year. That's how flexible this Cardinal team is. Put him in every possible spot they need. Normally, Bake McBride would be the center fielder. He's on the bench today. Late in games, they put Reggie at first base, where he's the best defensive first baseman on this team, which doesn't say a whole lot. Anyway, the pitch to Reggie Smith. 2-6, let's take a look at Reggie's card. This is actually a 73 Boston Red Sox card, but they made the trade anyway. 303 with 21 homers for the Red Sox in 73. And 2-6 is a single to left field. Ortiz is a 16 runner against the Cleon Jones arm, and he scores, and the Cardinals have the early lead. Joe Torre. 2-7, center. And Ted Simmons, 36. Ted Simmons, let's take a look at the Ted Simmons card of 1972. First year with good power, 16 homers and a 303 average. 36 doubles for a switch inning catcher is pretty impressive as well. 3-6. We got homer 1 to 14, triple the rest. It is gone! And the Cardinals, a 2-run shot. It is 3-0. More of the same for both of these teams thus far. Do the Mets have any fight in them at all this year? We're going to find out soon. Bill Sadakis. 3-5. You got to take a look at it, folks. The Bill Sadakis card of 1973. He actually was a Texas Ranger. He ended up in the expansion draft as a utility player. Bounced all around. Cardinals snatched him up. For this particular reason, they snatched Sadakis up with his 71 card, knowing that in 73 he'd have this monster amount of homers on his card. As a switch hitter, he joined switch hitters Ted Simmons and Reggie Smith, making it very difficult to match up against these Cardinals. The numbers are 15 homers and 235 at-bats. That prorates to about 30 or 40 bombs. 3-5, that is gone. It is 4-0. And it'll be number 7 hitter Don Hahn. 38's a single. Mike Tyson playing shortstop today. 4-11. This is right X. The right fielder's Dave Marshall. He's pretty good. He's a 3-9. And he makes the grab. They send 8 men to the plate, score 4 runs. And it is Cardinals 4-zip. Do the Mets have an answer? Do they have any fight? We're going to find out. Cleon Jones leads off. 112. Oh, no. Fly ball to left B plus injury. And Cleon, the heart and soul of the Mets, just got hurt. And oh, my goodness, folks. They're going to talk about this year in Shea. This has just been a nightmare beyond nightmare for the Mets. Bobby Darwin will take over in right field. Dave Marshall goes into left field for the injured Cleon. Ed Kranepool, 2-9, grounds to first. And Lee Lacy, 58, is a strikeout. Bottom of 2, it's Ted Sizemore. 5-10, catcher's card. 2-6 for Grody. That's a foul out. Lou Brock, 58 is a K. And with 2 outs, Ortiz, 58 against a righty. This guy's a left. Third inning, it'll be Dave Marshall. 1-4. Skies of center field. Jerry Grody, 47, is a strikeout. And Wayne Garrett back up top, 66, a walk off of the Spinks card. With 2 outs, it's Bud Arrelson, 45, second C. Bottom of the third, here's Reggie Smith. What a series he's having. 1-8 is a K. Joe Torre, 1-4 is a walk. Ted Simmons, big blast earlier. This time it's a double play grounder. Into the fourth, 4-0. It's 4 enough. Willie Mays, 2-4, Ks. John Milner, 2-9, second. Cleon Jones, 57, not Cleon Jones, but Bobby Darwin, 57, is a strikeout. The Mets have not gotten a hit today. Bottom of the fourth, it's Sadakis, 65, off the Matlack card. 1-1-2 is a base hit. Don Hahn, he is a former Met. 2-7 against his former team is a walk. 2 on for Mike Tyson, playing shortstop today. 47 is a strikeout. Ted Sizemore, 56, second X. This is Lacey. He made a big error in yesterday's game. A 3-26 at second base. That is a single out dot off the Lacey defense. My goodness, folks. 5-zip Cardinals. I'm telling you, folks, not give up on any of these teams that play in that division. Pirates, Cardinals, and Cubs. They are tough as nails. Lou Brock, 34. That's actually a double play grounder for Lou. Very rare double play for Lou Brock. The inning's over, but it's 5-0 into the fifth. Ed Kranepool leads off for the Mets, trying to get a rally going. 65 off of Spinks, single 1-11. Cannot get it, rolls at 12. Oh my. Lee Lacey, 47's a strikeout. And with 2 outs, it's Dave Marshall. 64, there goes your no-no. It's triple 1-8, single arrest. It'll be a base hit. So he goes 4 2/3, no-hit innings. 2 outs now, Jerry Grody. 6-11, pitcher X. Spinks, E12 pitcher, makes the play. Innings over. It is Scipio, or Scipio, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's S-C-I-P-I-O. Spinks, 5-0 lead. Bottom of the fifth. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Bottom of the fifth. Busch Stadium is going nuts here. They just like seeing, they want to embarrass the Mets, and they're just razzing them. They're having a good time. You know, the Cardinals, they lost back-to-back series to the Cubs, and it didn't play very well, and that's the only time they haven't played well all years, when it's been the Cubs. The only blemish on a very good season for this team. Bottom of the fifth, it'll be Jose Ortiz leading off. 45, flies to center. Reggie Smith, 47's a K. Joe Torre, 38 is a walk. And Simmons, 63, pitcher X. Pitcher Matlack is an E6. Yeah, that's not gonna reach base on that one. 5-0 top of the sixth. Spinks is a starter 7, but if he does struggle in an elimination game, they're not going to hesitate to go to this great bullpen of Rabowski, Chuck Taylor, and Steve Barber, and Al Santorini. Top of the sixth, it's Wayne Garrett. 2-7 is a K. Bud Arrelson, 6-10. Catchers, card, Simmons. 3 catcher makes the play, and with 2 outs, it's Willie Mays. Let's take a look at a card. This could be the last we see of Willie Mays. This is a 71 Giants card. 271, 18 home runs, and then he'll falter after this. He's already, the Mets got him for his 70 card for a couple years in the 71 card, but they might have buyer's remorse at this point, as he's become very old, and they might just let him end his career back with the San Francisco Giants. Who knows? Willie Mays, 57, is a strikeout. Bottom of the sixth, it's Sadakis. 1-7's a K. Don Hahn, 2-8, another walk. Mike Tyson, 47's a K, with 2 outs. Sizemore, 1-9, that's a fly ball left. Can we help the defense of the Cardinals? The answer is yes. We can bring Bake McBride into the outfield. He'll go in center field. Reggie Smith will play first base. And they'll take Jose Ortiz out. They don't need him anymore. Now you got a 2 in center field and a 3 at first base. You improve both positions. With a 5-0 lead in the 7th we go. It's Milner for the Mets. 37, he draws a walk. Bobby Darwin. 45 off of Spinks is short X. Big defensive play here. This is a 3E40 shortstop. It's a fielder's choice. Not bad. Ed Kranepool, runner at first, 1 out. 6-10. Catcher's X again. Simmons makes the play, and it's a foul out on the 3. Runner does not move up. And it's Lee Lacy with 2 outs. 3-6. Single 1-12. He does get the single 1-12. It's a base hit. There are 2 men on, and you have a chance to break Spinks or get him out of there. This will probably be Spinks' last batter. 2 on, 2 outs. You got a 5-0 lead. Number 8 hitter, Dave Marshall. 56 is a walk off the Spinks card. He hit his point of weakness. You don't want this thing to get away. I know he's throwing a shutout, but he hit his point of weakness and the bases are loaded. I'm going to go to the Cardinal bullpen here after 6 2/3 for Spinks, the rookie. I got 7 outs to get with a 5-run lead and the bases loaded. And the batter is Grody. He's not leaving, and they don't have a lefty to bring in. So it's the guy who nails righties the best. Is that going to be Chuck Taylor? It's a close call here. It's going to be Chuck Taylor. Chuck Taylor is coming in here. Funny part about it is Grody doesn't even have power against righties. Duffy Dyer does. Could we actually see a pinch hit here? Let's take a look at Chuck Taylor. Taylor was an Expo in 74. 6-2, 2.17 ERA and 108 innings. He sets up Grabowski with 7 outs to get in this situation. Chuck Taylor in the 7th. And do they indeed even think of pinch hitting with a power hitter here? Duffy Dyer? I think they're going to do this. They're going to bring in Duffy Dyer to pinch hit. Let's take a look at this move here. So Grody does not have power. Duffy Dyer does. Taylor gives up home runs. Dyer has homer 1-12 on 5. They both catchers hit about the same. But you're down 5-0. And this is a chance for Duffy Dyer. He hit a pinch hit homer in game 1. You're grabbing at straws. And everything you've tried thus far from the Mets has failed this year. So here we go again. Duffy Dyer pinch hitting for Jerry Grody. Bases loaded, 2 outs against a righty. And here's the pitch. 1-7, and that is a strikeout. And if you're wondering, well, it would have been a fly ball for Jerry Grody. It wouldn't have mattered. Gil Guerrero also would have gotten out. No Met player on the bench would have reached on that. So it stays 5-0. Got to plug in the 1-7 result for Dyer, which is a strikeout. There we go. Stretch time here in St. Louis. They have a 5-0 lead. We've been enjoying listening to Ann Peebles' 1971 LP, Straight from the Heart. Slipped, tripped, and fell in love. Great record. Somebody's on your case. Good stuff. Ann Peebles here in St. Louis. Back to the game. 5-0. Cardinals. Matlack's not going anywhere. He'll pitch in the 7th, and he'll face Lou Brock, leading it off. 58 is a K. Bate McBride now in the 2 spot. Bake Sale is hit by the pitch. Ace Steeler. Duffy Dyer's got a good arm too. He's not going anywhere. Reggie Smith. 46. Skies the center field. And with 2 outs, Joe Torre. 66. It is a double 1-14 for Torre. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs for the switch hitting Simmons. And you know what? They're going to pull Matlack here after 6 2/3. trying to get the switch hitter out. The best chance they had to do that is Danny Frizella. Let's take a look at him. He is a right-handed pitcher who's outstanding getting lefties out. And if they have any chance at all, they need to get Ted Simmons out if possible. So Frizella comes on in, second and third in the 7th inning. Danny Frizella, his stats, by the way, for the Mets in 71, 8-5 with a 1.98 ERA. He was the 3rd best ERA on that team. Think about that. In 71. So that meant that they had 3 pitchers below 2. Seaver, Tug McGraw, and Danny Frizella was the 3rd one. That is amazing. This could be a tough offseason for these Mets. They're going to lose some good guys. Danny Frizella, the pitch to Ted Simmons. 3-11. That is a fly ball to center field. It stays 5-zip into the 8th inning. Up top, it will be Wayne Garrett leading off. 4-12. Skies to right field. Bud Harrelson. 4-10. Flies to left field, and with 2 outs, it's Willie Mays, who has 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. 48. Single one of 15. But he rolls a 17 in soul-crushing fashion there to go over. 5-0 game, bottom of the 8th inning. It'll be Bill Sadakis. 46 is a K. Don Hahn standing there for defense. 45 center. Mike Tyson, 2-8 singles. Ted Sizemore, 2-4. Bounce to third. Let's get to the 9th inning, and let's get to Al Hrabowski. He blew the save in game 1, but he got the win. He's got a 5-run lead and plenty of time off if the Cardinals win 2 straight. So, plenty of rest before their next battle. Al Hrabowski in the 9th inning, 5-0. My goodness. And he will face Milner, Bobby Darwin, and Ed Kranepool. Oh my goodness. Kranepool can't even hit lefties. So who's on the bench? Just Gerardo? That's it. So we have to have Milner hit away here. Doesn't hit lefties well, but you got to pinch hit for Kranepool, who's worse. John Milner. 48 is a K. Bobby Darwin. The injury to Cleon Jones made this much worse. 69, Short X. The 3E44 shortstop. Or 3E40 shortstop, excuse me. A single off the shortstop. Hate to see that. In the 9th inning. 1 out, 1 on. Batting for Ed Kranepool, the last dude on the bench. Gil Garrido. Take a look at Gil. 72, he had 267 and 75 at-bats. Good utility player here. And here's the pitch to Gil. 37 is a walk, and 2 men have reached. And it's Lee Lacy. 2 on, 1 out. The pitch to Lee Lacy. 5-10 is catcher's X. Again, Simmons has had a bunch of these today, and he's handled every one. That's a foul out. And the Mets are down to their last batter of the season. It's Dave Marshall. We'll take a look at him. A 72 Met who hit 250. Nice on base, nice symmetry, decent defense. Just a guy, we often like to say. And here we go. Al Hrabowski, the pitch to Dave Marshall. 39, and that is a fly ball to right field, and there it is. That's your ball game, folks. Oh, it is sad for the Mets, but jubilant for the Cardinals as they win 2 straight. And they fixed the season that was tilting. They were in first place for a nice chunk of the first half, and the Cubs caught them. But now the Cardinals have righted their ship. Speaking of righting their ships, the Mets ship is the Titanic. They have completely collapsed, buried by the Braves, embarrassed by the Braves, and sunk down in that wreckage deep, deep in the North Atlantic. Oh my God, the New York Mets have been terrible. Terrible would be nice. They've been awful. It is a 5-0 victory for your Cardinals. 2 straight victories. Hrabowski in the 9th inning gave up a hit, walk, and a K. No save for that. Chuck Taylor gets a hold. We count on those, which I don't. Strikes out Duffy Dyer when it mattered. Nice start for the rookie, Scipio Spinks. A 2-hitter. 4 walks. Got a little wild in the 7th inning. 8 strikeouts. Frizella did get the final out in the 7th. And then I gave up a hit and a K in the 8th. Tough day for John Matlack again. 8 hits and 5 runs. It all happened early and painlessly, maybe. 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. 1009, 0108, 5903, 5903, 510. Another thing I've been seeing is a lot of sweeps and a lot of short series this year. We are playing fewer games this year than in previous years because a lot of teams just fade, don't show up. Dodgers fade, Reds fade, and now the Mets fade. Those are all World Series teams. You're talking about the 72, 3, and 4 World Series teams. Deep fades. Deep fades for these teams. Trying to do a reasoning for that, we can kind of look at the standings and come up with some ideas of what really happened here. The Cardinals are indeed 3 over 500. They are 22-19. Hitting .276 with a 3.57 ERA. Grabowski's got 9 saves. You've got Torrey with 10 homers, but let's not forget Reggie Smith. Reggie Smith's got 9 homers, 30 RBI. He has been the glue. The extra switch hitter. He's only hitting .237, folks, Reggie is. But he's got a lot of homer and RBI, joining Ted Simmons and Bill Sadakis as switch hitters on his team. Meanwhile, the Mets, they playing for draft picks now. They have sunk so far, 14-19, devastatingly awful year. .231 batting average, a 3.62 ERA. Most teams would like that. Mets, that's not good for the Mets. They're much better than normally. Tub McGraw only had 5 saves this year because there wasn't much to save for this team. Leading home run hitter, you have 4 for Cranepool in a platoon role. Nobody has 20 RBI on this team. We saw the Cardinals. You saw Reggie Smith had 30 and Torrey had 30. Nobody on the Mets has 20. So, 14-19 and 22-19. My goodness. So we're going to plug some numbers in here. Cardinals got a 2-0. Cardinals are 22-19. And the Mets, my goodness, dismal. 14-19. Don't know where to exactly put the Cardinals yet in this. We still have to. Here we go. So the Mets are done. We'll do an elimination of them next. But the Cardinals, right here, they're tied for first. Now you have to remember, if they finish in a 2-way tie in the next round, the Cubs won't have to play. They're in first place. The Cardinals will play though. And then when the Cardinals are playing, if they beat somebody, that means that they move into first and the Cubs move into second. Yet the Cardinals could ultimately fail in that matchup altogether and not make the playoffs. So it's Cardinals have a lot to lose. The Cubs could only fall from first into a wild card, we think. But you still have the Pirates to play the Phillies. There's still a lot of math left in this one, folks. We have a tie in the top of the National League between the teams we thought were going to be in 3rd and 4th place. They're at the top. Don't sleep on this Pirates team. They beat up on the Reds, and now they have to play the Phillies. And the Pirates have arguably the best roster in this division. Well, they definitely have the best roster in this division. They have the World Series pedigree here. Speaking of that, we talked about the Reds and the Mets and also the Dodgers being eliminated. All 4 or more games under 500. For the Dodgers, we would say that it's not 1974 yet when they went to the World Series. It's playing more like those 71 2 years when guys like Garvey, Russell, Say, and Lopes struggled a little bit. For the Reds, we could say that they went to the World Series in 1970 and 1972, but in 1971 they had a bad season. Johnny Bench had a bad year. He had like 238, I think. So you could explain that away with bad years for Bench and Perez and even Pete Rose. And for the Mets, trying to figure this one out, boy, this is a killer. I would say that they need to get Rusty Staub on this team. He's still with the Expos for his last year, and then the Mets get him next year. So the Mets are going to get Rusty Staub in the offseason, injected into that offense. The pitching staff will return intact pretty much. Not really worried about the pitching getting any worse. So they'll have a dominant pitching staff. They just need to get better offense. Rusty Staub coming along will help. They could probably use another... They could probably use a better second baseman. They've had Ted Martinez and Lee Lacy the last 2 years. I don't know who they have in the pipeline. Felix Millan is not available. He did play for the Mets, but... Anyway, this is all about the Cardinals. Congratulations to the Cardinals for coming back from a defeat to the Cubs by ripping off 2 straight wins against the New York Mets. Thanks for checking this out. We'll see you next time.